where and how did you first encounter the Umbrella Academy, and what was it that excited you most? I mean, I read it and I immediately thought, oh, this is so cinematic.
When I first read it, I had just finished another project for Netflix, and they mentioned this graphic novel. I had not read it. I was excited when I heard Gerard Way. I was a fan of his music, that he had written it. But when I read it the first time, what I saw in it was a dysfunctional family show. I mean, I love the superhero nature of the show, but what I loved is the family dynamic. I loved these siblings had been apart. They came back together and they're all messed up. And it was very relatable to me how, all the sort of nuanced foibles about who these people are.
And what is it about, I think, Kennedy and Dallas? I mean, there seems to be this what if about him that is more enduring than anything else. What is it about Kennedy that's still so fascinating?
Well, it's incredible. When we did the research and we dug really deep, myself and the other writers.
That's a rabbit hole.
Well, and that's it. I think we counted 30 to 35 different conspiracy theories, some that were amazing to us, but having Hargreaves on the grassy knoll with an umbrella. There was a man with an umbrella on the grassy knoll there. And we thought that was incredible. Like, it just seemed to be, manna from heaven for us. But the conspiracies, it was a very tumultuous time. And the fact that even all these years later, people still don't agree in the States of what really, really happened. It's just an amazing mystery.
I guess over the course of these two seasons, you've kind of merged the first two graphic novels and added stuff and removed stuff. And I was wondering about some of those decisions. I mean, the arc with Ben is particularly fantastic, which doesn't really exist in the comics. Why did you feel that was something important that you needed to include in this dynamic?
Well, I was just fascinated by the dynamic between Ben and Klaus, these two brothers, where one actually controls the fate of the other because only Klaus can see Ben. So it seemed to me that I wanted to give him a bigger storyline. I couldn't imagine sort of not having sort of this one sibling not be a part of this family dynamic. But I thought it was such an interesting challenge to make him still be able to be a part of this, though only communicate through one brother, who, by the way, happens to be the biggest screw up of the entire family. The worst narrator is Klaus. If someone's going to tell your narrative, you don't want it to be Klaus.
Yeah. Also, at the very end of the second comic, it's a bold decision that Gerard Way did to have the assassination of Kennedy take place with rumor. You changed that in the TV series, and I think on the face of it, I understand that you cannot have one of your main characters kill the president. But was there any more to it? Because I think that shock in the comic book was tremendous.
Yeah, well, it's two things. I mean, absolutely, I didn't want to leave, hopefully we have a third season, and I didn't want to leave it where the rumor Allison was sort of responsible for killing the president. I thought that was a hard thing to come back from. At the end of the day, also, we were playing with timelines, and I thought I didn't want to affect the timeline, and I thought there would be repercussions for doing that. So it was sort of a twofold decision, though it was very bold in the graphic novel. I agree with you.
The graphic novel also trips a lot more into the zany. I remember when I finished reading Hotel Oblivion, I was very excited because I was thinking, oh my God, is Steve going to go there? Because you've got space, you've got trans-dimensional stuff happening, and is that an option?
Well, it always is. And I can tell you that what Gerard does so well is, the visuals and sort of the storytelling is so wonderful. A lot of it is non-linear, and that's a challenge for me because, you want linear storytelling for television. Though I find sort of sometimes the individual frames is a great starting point for, where we look at and we think these little frames that Gabriel drew and Gerard came up with often bring us to other parts of storytelling within the show.
No, they do. But I was curious as to how closely you work with Gerard, because I guess it'll very quickly reach that point where you will start growing beyond the comic book. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but Game of Thrones. How are you going to solve this problem?
Well, it's a great look. I'm very close with Gerard, and I think he's really thought ahead. I think he has many volumes in his head of where he wants to go. What I do each season is I go to Gerard and say, look, this is my idea for the season. And he gives me his input and we talk about it. But, we're very collaborative together, and he has lots of ideas of things he wants to do.
Right. And talk to me about, your true north as well, with regards to some things in the graphic novel that you feel have to be maintained.
Here's the limitation for me. I have 10 hours of storytelling. And the sort of conceit I've come up with, which I like and I hope to continue with, is the story takes place over 10 days. So it's hard to tell a 10-day story and have this sort of thing looming. In season 2, it's doomsday. Season 1's the apocalypse. So I have to, pick and choose. But, I like the weirdness of the show. And maybe in a season 3, I think we might even go into a weirder place. But, time travel allows us to do a lot of fun things. And, their powers are evolving a little bit. And hopefully in future seasons, we'll see more evolving of their powers and what they can do.
I was wondering about building and breaking down that family dynamic, because at the core of it is Hargraves, who I think it was reinforced just how much of an asshole he is in that eulogy scene. God, that was horrible.
That's right. Yes, yeah. I had fun writing that.
So talk to me about that family dynamic and I guess the daddy issues and how that drives the plot for you.
The bottom line is I think we all want the love of our parents. And even though Hargreaves has not been a particularly good parent to them, they all believe that, one day he's going to come around and change. What's great about season 2 is they're going back and seeing their dad who has no idea of the timeline. He has no idea what he did in the other timeline. Hargreaves hasn't changed much. In fact, he's very much influenced by, meeting these kids. No matter what Hargreaves does, I think they still hold out hope that he's going to be a good parent.
Steve, that's all the time I have. It's been an absolute honor talking to you. I love what you've done with Umbrella Academy. It's great.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you, and I love that you're a fan.
Season 3.
Season 3. Yes. See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.